Hi everyone, and in this video I just got the engine back from the machine shop and I'm getting ready to paint it before building. Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel about building a kit car and other car topics. If you like what you see, please subscribe and hit the notification buttons below and share with others on social media. So here we just got the engine block back from the shop. It's all nice and sparkly clean. And so the first thing you would think you do is like, okay, let's degrease it and then go ahead and start painting. But really what you need to do is do an extra final step of cleaning. So we're talking about super fine brushes, a little bit of cleaning fluid, and just going through and verifying that all the screw holes, all the nooks and crannies, everything in this engine is 100% clean. You just want to make sure there's no contaminants going throughout the engine. Then after that, it's time to start masking off the engine and getting it ready for paint. Now, you're seeing this, of course, in like a time-lapse super speed video. But what we're seeing here, which is only going to be a few minutes, actually it was 2 hours and 15 minutes for me to just mask off the engine to get everything perfectly aligned so nothing was leaking through. And anywhere that I was putting a gasket, the tape line was perfectly on it. And there's a lot of areas on this engine where the gasket area is a curved specification. You know, it's like a circle, or, you know, like if you look at the front cover of the engine, the back cover, it's all curvy, and, you know, you have to follow all those lines to get it perfect. Otherwise, if you got paint in there, it might not sit, you know, perfectly with the gasket. So I tried a bunch of different things. On the biggest areas, I would use paper to mask things off. On other areas, I would try, you know, plastic and different things, and it just, you know, tried to find the best way to do things as I was going. And of course, using painter's tape because it doesn't leave any residue. So right here, with all those curves, I was like, well, maybe instead of taping this all off, which is going to take, you know, super long time, what if I take the engine cover, throw it in a plastic bag, and bolt it on, and then the plastic is perfectly fit to the roundness of all those areas, and I could just spray around it, and bam, I just shaved off a lot of time. But it was sloppy. It didn't really work. It didn't really, you know, cover the whole area that I needed to. So I ended up bailing on that idea and just using the tape and, you know, ripping the tape off a few million times to make all the curves and everything that I needed to do. In hindsight, knowing what I know more about, you know, automotive painting, I could have got, you know, the special like pinstriping type tape that where it will bend around curves, and I could have just curved it all around. So that would have been better, and that would have saved me probably an hour of time. But because you can see right here, I'm just, you know, spending a lot of time struggling with little tiny pieces to get that whole section taken care of. Now, the book that you're seeing right in the front of the view here is called How to Build GM LS Series Engines. This is the book that I used as my little Bible for actually assembly, and you know, reading it before I put everything together just to verify, do I have all the right tools? Do I not have the right tools? If I'm adding this type of timing chain, I need these special tools. If you use the stock type of chain, then you don't need the tools because it only goes in one spot. So this book was kind of like my little Bible, if you will, to make this build happen. So once I got everything masked off, I was trying to come up with some way to cover up all the screw holes and the little nooks and crannies that were in this engine, so I wasn't getting paint inside of it. And I thought long and hard, what could I do? What could I do to put this in there? And I use earplugs for everything when I'm going out and about, clubs, you know, any kind of loud auditorium or anything like that. And so I had a bunch of earplugs, and it was like the perfect thing where I could squish up, stick in a hole, and then it would expand and fill that hole. And it was just perfect. So you could see, you know, all these little earplugs sticking out bright orange. It was great. So now I'm actually doing a primer on the whole engine, getting it all set up. And it was also pretty cold that day, so I wanted to put the heater on there to kind of warm up that block a little bit so it wasn't super cold when I was putting it on. And I did one nice solid coat of the primer, and then I did a bunch of light coats of the actual black metallic engine paint that I was using. And it was really tough because since that engine block is still around 200, 225 pounds, you know, I couldn't really raise it and move it around, and then you can't really bolt anything onto it because you're going to ruin the paint that you just put on there. So you're kind of in this catch-22. So it was just a lot of crouching and using lights to try to figure things out and get it all sprayed on. And then I did the best I could to not damage the engine and lift it up so I could flip it over and spray from another angle. And this time I made sure that the bolts went in the correct way to where that 1 millimeter clearance issue I was having where I couldn't spin the engine over was taken care of this time when I put it on. So I couldn't believe it was such a small thing, but I couldn't move that engine before. So now I can at least flip it around and rotisserie it any way I want to. And so all in all, I think I had one coat of heavy primer, 2 coats from above, and then I flipped the engine over and did 2 coats from below. Well, till next time, please hit the subscribe and notification buttons below, and have a great day.